Om Shanti, and a very good morning to everyone. Let's continue yesterday's Murli, dated 22nd January 1977. And the title of yesterday, the Murli that we uh, read yesterday, the title is The Basis of World Transformation is Transformation of the Self. So let's continue. This is about Bapdada meeting Manoini Didi. Do you know the date of destruction? When is destruction going to take place? Do you want destruction to take place quickly, or are you beyond any desire of yes and no? Instead of thinking about destruction, if all Brahmins stabilize themselves in the one thought of completing establishment, transformation will then have already happened. Just as all of you have the one thought for the date of destruction, in the same way, if someone especially keeps the aim of becoming perfect and fixes the date for it to happen, he will definitely become complete by then. At the moment, you do not all collectively have that one determined thought for transformation. Some have this thought, whereas others do not, and therefore the atmosphere doesn't become powerful. Because it is still the minority who have this thought, it is not clearly revealed in the atmosphere. Therefore, now create such a program for a special group to carry out this main task of demonstrating it through powerful determined thought. In the beginning, in order to increase enthusiasm for effort, you used to create groups who would race in their efforts. You used to give cooperation and enthusiasm to one another to enable each other to move forward. In the same way, a group of such intense effort makers should be created to take up the responsibility and initiative of putting into practice whatever they say and definitely doing and demonstrating it. In the beginning, you made a pledge of purity to the Father that you would die, tolerate everything, accept the beatings, leave your home, but that you would always fulfill the promise of purity. Such a gathering of lionesses became instruments for the task of establishment and gave the proof of that. They didn't think about anything else, didn't consider anything else, but simply fulfill their promise in a practical way. So, such a group is also needed now to make this promise. In order to fulfill our aim, whatever we have to tolerate, whatever we have to renounce, whether we have to listen to good or bad things from others or to have passed tests, We will do all of it and we will definitely achieve our aim. If such a group becomes a sample, others can then also follow them. Whatever happened in the beginning has to happen at the end. There should be a group of such souls coming onto the field who would overcome praise and defamation, as well as respect and disrespect. They will have to listen to something or tolerate something in any situation, no matter how well they do something. Those who do something good, in fact, have to listen to and tolerate a great deal. There should be such a group of those who have the power to tolerate. In the beginning, a group of those who made a pledge of purity came onto the field and establishment took place. In the same way, if this group comes onto the field, completion then can take place. Can you see such a group? Just as there is that parliament, so this is the parliament for completion. There should be the court of lawmakers to make the laws for the new world and the new life. We shall now see which group creates that. Even those from abroad should create such a group. You have to reveal yourselves as real Brahmins. Now, before leaving Madhuban, what have you become? Whatever you return to, people should think that an incarnation has incarnated. Since even the incarnation of one is able to bring about such a revolution, how big a revolution would there be if so many incarnations came down? You now have to perform every action while considering yourself to be an incarnation who brings about revolution in the world. Acha, what group would you call this group? Baptata sees this group as a group of messengers. Each soul is going to give the Father's message to many others. Do you consider yourself to be this? Now, Baba will see which type of flower are brought and which gardener brings them and how big a bouquet he has prepared. A gardener always presents a very beautiful bouquet to his master with a lot of love. And so the Father will also see what is presented to him. The flowers should be those that have essence, that is, fragrance. There should be the essence of spirituality. Do you consider yourself to be a gardener? If so many are ready, world benefit will then definitely take place. This is Bapdada's desire. Have all the Pandavas attained their elevated stage like that of the previous cycle and completely melted their body consciousness? Have all the Pandavas attained their elevated stage like that of the previous cycle and completely melted their body consciousness? It is shown that the Pandavas melted away on the mountains. That is, they died there. In the same way, you have completely finished the stage of body consciousness. Have you not yet died alive like the Pandavas? To die alive means to be dead to body consciousness. So, have you died alive? To die means to be dead. Or is it that you are still dying? Is this possible? As soon as you die in one place, you go and live in another place. This is the case with everyone, is it not? Here, you have to die to body consciousness and live in soul consciousness. How much time do you need for this? It has already been at least 6 months, has it not? Pandavas are well known for attaining an elevated stage. This is why the physical form of the Pandavas is shown to be very tall. It isn't the body, but the stage of the soul that should be elevated. So, you are those same Pandavas, are you not? The easy way to make intense effort is to have a determined thought. In order to be soul conscious, you have to have the determined thought that you are not a body, but a soul. In order to be soul conscious, you have to have the determined thought that you are not a body, but you are a soul. If there isn't determination in your thoughts, there cannot be success in anything. Only when you have a determined thought about anything can you attain success. Only those who have determined thoughts become conquerors of Maya. You're not those who will be defeated by Maya, are you? It is when you cannot recognize Maya that you are deceived by her. Those who cannot, sorry, those who can recognize her can never be deceived. You are lucky that you have claimed a right to the inheritance before attaining anything else. Now that you belong to the ocean of happiness, you should be experiencing so much happiness. What do you lack that you lose your happiness? Baba is asking, what do you lack that you lose your happiness? When there is attainment, there is happiness. Even those who have temporary attainment become happy. And so, those who have eternal attainment should remain constantly happy. If you stay happy only sometimes, then what is the difference? To become knowledgeable means to be constantly happy. Not to be knowledgeable means to be happy only sometimes. Therefore, have the determined thought of being constantly happy before you leave. Now, Baba is speaking to the teachers. Do all of you teachers consider yourselves to be instrument world teachers, the same as the Father, or are you limited teachers? What is the special slogan for effort for the teachers? That you will do simultaneous service at every second to your thoughts, words, and actions. That you will remain engaged in all three types of service in the same second. Only when your teachers constantly put this slogan into practical form will you be able to bring about world benefit. Only when all three types of service are carried out at the same time can the service of bringing benefit to such a huge world can be accomplished. You do not have a separate time to serve through your thoughts and a separate time to serve through words. Only those who do all three types of service at the same time can become world benefactors. So, check whether you are always doing all three types of service. You have three relationships with the Father. That is the Father, Teacher, and Satguru. And He serves you through all three forms. Therefore, you instrument teachers have also have to serve simultaneously in three ways. You will then become Master Trimurti. Do you understand? To the extent that you teachers become full of all powers, you will accordingly become instruments for other souls. Those who become instruments have a huge responsibility. Those who become instruments accumulate multi-million fold in a second, and so they have that chance of an attainment. However, if those who are instruments perform such actions that they cause upheaval in others, they also accumulate a multi-million fold loss. Baba says, however, if those who are instruments perform such actions that they cause upheaval in others, they also accumulate a multi-million fold loss. An attitude is created through thoughts, and an atmosphere is created through an attitude. So, there should be no such thoughts or attitude through which the atmosphere becomes impure. You should not speak any such words that would cause upheaval in others. Because everyone's attention is on you, instrument teachers, you teachers have to pay double attention to yourselves. All of you are moving along while paying double attention to yourselves, are you not? First of all, consider everything and then do it. It should not be that you do something first and then think about it. Otherwise, time and energy would be wasted. You teachers should have special happiness because you have the lift of being with the Father and remaining engaged in His service. You do not have to go into any other atmosphere. So, you should take full benefit of this lift, should you not? Baba asks the teachers, are you constantly happy? Who can remain constantly happy? Those who are not attracted anywhere else. If you are attracted anywhere, that is towards nature, other souls, or the virtues of others, you cannot remain happy. Such souls who are beyond all attractions and are only attracted to the one Father can remain constantly happy. Such souls who are beyond all attractions and are only attracted to the one Father can remain constantly happy. Acha, Baba's giving the blessing. May you have the tilak of the imperishable suhag, that is the fortune of being wed, and fortune, and therefore have the tilak of the future kingdom. At the confluence age, you attain the tilak of the suhag of being the deity of all deities and of the fortune of being a child to God. If the tilak of the suhag and fortune is imperishable and Maya does not erase it, then those who have the tilak of suhag and fortune here also receive the tilak of the kingdom in the future. There is then that festival of the tilak of the kingdom in every birth. Together with the day of the tilak of the king, the day is also celebrated for the royal family. The slogan for this Murli is remain constantly merged in the love of one, and this love will finish all effort. Remain constantly merged in the love of one, and this love will finish all effort. Acha, Om Shanti. Let's take a couple of moments to go through the learnings of what Baba shared with us through this Murli, the conversations with Didi and the teachers, and come back ready to share. Yes, you can unmute yourself and be ready to share.
Om Shanti, Mishpai. Uh, so Baba says we need to become perfect. So we'll have to fix a date. And so for that, we need to have a collective thought, a determined collective thought for transformation. So, so right now that is lacking. Some have some thoughts, whereas others have different thoughts. It's not in the collective way. So it's not making an impact in the atmosphere. So when it becomes in the collective fashion, then the atmosphere becomes powerful. There, the transformation will happen. So Baba wants to create a group and then uh, create that, work towards that, having that collective thought. Om Shanti.
Yes, brother.
Shanti. Good morning, brother. Baba mentions that thoughts leads to creation of an attitude, and the attitude creates the atmosphere. Again, the same old method, but very correct one. This was mentioned for the sisters, but however, it is applicable to everyone. That's to have a powerful atmosphere, one will have to have powerful thoughts. The second point that struck me was to die alive is to have a determined thought of being soul conscious. That is to kill the body consciousness within oneself, and one will have to have determined thought for that. The last point I really liked was if you have love for one, that love will kill all efforts. So to be free of being effortful is to have just love, and that love should be there for Baba. Om Shanti.
Yes, Vinod bhai.
Om Shanti. Today, Baba has given, and in this second part of the Murli, Baba has given a lot of treasures and techniques, how to build that stage, elevated stage where we are, very powerful souls and we are always victorious. And one of the technique is being died alive. And the died alive is basically a new birth. First is dying from the previous sanskars of 63 births, and then the old body, old bodily relations, old world, old belief systems, old nature, and old excuses of and old whatever is old related to the materialistic world or the body consciousness has to be died, and then we are alive means we take a new birth, and the new birth means shifting the home, shifting from old home to a new home. Home could be body, home could be your environment, home could be your sanskar. So new home is you are shifted from old location to new coordinates, new location, new coordinates. Now experience this new. I think that's a very powerful concept of being died alive. And that's what Baba gives us a very easy manner. Baba gives a very powerful concept. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, brother.
Yes, Gajan.
I just used to think about these strategies of Bapdada. Like you see earlier, before the Avyakt Murlis came, there were no such strategies in Sakar Murlis, where Baba says form groups and all. But once when Baba became Avyakt, and he had a different role to play, when he was not under the direct contact the children. Otherwise, children, anything, everything, they used to just go to him. Used to tell Manor Dadi, okay, you go here, you go here. So that way, directly, he used to send each Dadis to different places for different work. Like that is how even he sent Didi before he left the Gyan, how Didi also left to a different place to do service. So there it was evident. But this question of groups and all, and you'll see even the strategy of groups, if you go through these Abhyakt Murlis, the earlier part which we are reading now, this kind of group is something like as if it's a formation stage where Baba is asking for groups because he has just reached the subtle region. But the latter part, you can say even the 90s and all, where the groups that directly Baba used to talk to a group from a region, he used to say Africa region, Australia region, that region, and then he used to give specific directions. I was just thinking the strategy of the Avyakt Murli one has to understand about these groups. And over here, I loved the first thing when he spoke to Didi. Like, as if, Baba always had these two people, two jewels in his eyes, Didi and Dadi Prakash Mani. But how in the end it was Dadi Prakash Mani he inherited. But always Didi was there in the forefront for him. That's why these two, even later, they worked together as one. So with this, when Baba is speaking about the groups, I was understand the first group, what is the aim of this group? He says that first line itself, completion of establishment. So that's the groundwork which Baba is telling Didi. The establishment work which you, the purity group, you'll have to come together and it has to be completed. Then he gives us so many, he gives a strategy of intense effort makers, or then he says, I love this word, he says, we need a parliament for completion, we need a constitution of lawmakers, then a service strategy of group of messengers. But brother, if you see in all this, there is only one key quality, which is what need to be done by us at this stage. Determined collective thoughts. So that's what we have to say, because now that is what is needed. Because in so many Abhyakt Murlis earlier also, Baba had said, I will not come down, the gates of heaven will not open only if one new Brahmin or one person come. I want all the fingers, all my children to come forward, only then I will come down. He's so clear in that. So it's not just determined, it's determined collective thoughts. So if really we could find out what is this determination? What does it decide? What is that firmness and resolve we should have now at this stage? Is determination only a positive thing? Is it only a will? What is it actually? How do we go about it now after reading this Murli? What should be my determined collective thought so that I can fulfill the establishment completion? If suppose you could throw some light on this determination, what is it, why it lacks, or what should we do now at this stage today?
Yeah, I guess Baba's mentioned in the second part of the Murli is to, and that's what I guess the slogan is as well, where the determination is to remain constantly merged in the love of one, and this love will finish all effort. I guess that is the determination that Baba's talking about. Yes.
I think one
Brother, can
reflection I would
you
like
share
to
with
share,
us?
Om
Please
Shanti,
share.
just uh, one reflection about the teachers. And when Baba speaks about teachers, it's not that somebody is playing a role of a teacher, only those souls are to be imbibing those. It's actually every soul is ought to be a teacher for himself or herself. And that, with that perspective, a teacher should have three attributes. The teaching should be through thinking, words, that means thoughts, words, as well as actions, and the three relationships with the Supreme Energy, Supreme Authority. Those three relations are like father, teacher, and Sadguru. So I was just reflecting on the practical aspects of a teacher, that when we have to transform some old habits into a new habit, or an old belief system into a new belief system, and in order to apply these techniques, what Baba has given us in the Murli, there are three different things. One is like father, give a lot of love. As a father, give a lot of love to yourself, and first praise yourself. Okay, first praise, give, shower a lot of love, and then the role of teacher. Then be strict, give the exact concept as it is, and then Sadguru, then give blessings. Yes, may you be successful, and those showering of the blessings of, like Baba gave Suhag and all these. These are in the role of a Sadguru. The Baba is giving us blessings, that you maybe you be imperishable and all that, imperishable attainments for the kalpa. So that's a well-wishing, pure thoughts. I think these three roles we do apply practically. If we apply practically, we can do little double attention and checking. Even if one role is missing, then it doesn't serve the thing. Om Shanti.
Yes, Kirjaban, you were saying something?
Yeah, I was just saying, I just wanted, because I have always read your, this fresh approaches to this. So this determination, what is that lacking? And as the brother was sharing, I think today, as Brahma Kumaris, it's just my opinion. Like, there are more of lectures and thoughts and people going about and talking, and everything is that we go about and hear. So that words is there so much, but this is there in every other thing where people go and speak and share, and that kandras which we say, is already there. But I was thinking the other two, thought and deed. So what is the evidence of that? Because that is the kind of service now Baba is asking. No words, people have got so many channels, so many things they can hear. Because somewhere I heard about a thought lab being created for that. Now, that kind of group, I think, is what Baba wants. Somewhere who sit together in a conclave and think and spread words through thoughts. And some people who become see, we don't have dadis anymore to give us those experiences of deeds. So they were living examples, and that deeds. So I think even these two kind of services may thing. It was just when he spoke about thought, word, and deeds to teachers, I thought that, so that one thing. and that determination. These two are the things which is needed from today's.
Like what you asked and shared, and even what Umpai shared. Uh, when he said darkness is absence of light, and the presence of light, you don't have to do anything to disappear darkness. The moment the light is come, there is light, darkness disappears. The same way, uh, when Mumbai was talking about body consciousness and soul consciousness, the moment we come into soul consciousness, the other side of that is only when there is determination will there be soul consciousness. And when soul consciousness steps in, after that, there is no efforts for determination. After then, everything then just falls into place. The moment it is not, that is the time when again it will be switched back to the body consciousness. So catching yourself, catching your thoughts, your words, and your actions at that point of time, uh, and restoring yourself back into the soul consciousness, that itself will be an access to determination. We have a lot of, like you said, Gidjaban, that there are a lot of materials that are available for transformation, whether it is books or whether it is on media. There is a lot of content which is available, but how much of that are we imbibing, or how much of that are we standing to have ownership of? Not because it is out there, because that is something that I want to do. That is why self transformation, that it comes from the self, from within, not to belong anywhere, but because that is a choice that I am making. And that itself, I mean, determination could be both ways. One, because there is determination, there would be this move that you would make to have a self transformation. And the other is that because you are into self transformation, that itself is a determination of contributing towards thoughts and actions. So it goes hand in hand, I guess. That's the best way that I can look at putting it in this present moment.
Om Shanti. Yes, Bhaiji. And one reflection is that determination is a clarity. It's very deep inner space. Soul has a clarity. Who am I? Who is mine? Who am I? Who is mine? In the real sense. And this clarity gives power to tolerate, power to face, power to accommodate, power to discern, all powers automatically come. That when so I think determination is it's also it's related with the utmost clarity of the form, the real form. Baba says that's the soul consciousness. I'm a soul.
Yeah.
That form is, if it is clear, sometimes it is sometimes clear, sometimes not clear. In Amrit Vela, it's clear. After Amrit Vela, it starts like clouds. Some clouds come, and the clarity goes. The moment clarity goes, then Maya attacks. Maya enters, and then we feel as if we are little getting influenced with the outside situations, outside persons,
Yeah.
and getting attracted and all that. What is who's responsible? Responsible the soul itself, not paid double attention there. Why does the clarity went off? Why did the clarity go away? The clarity is determination. Determination means situating in a point form is the determination. Again and again, this has to be done so that it becomes a natural sanskar. Like Baba has said often in the Murli, clean and clear intellect is the byproduct of soul consciousness. It's a follow, it's an outcome, it's a result of soul consciousness. Clean and clear intellect. And in the soul consciousness, constantly merged with the Supreme's love. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, just adding on. So this determined thoughts is actually the basis for us to transform. The first thought that we have, or we can also compare the way we the kind of thoughts and the kind of life that we had before coming into knowledge. And then after coming into knowledge, that we got the knowledge that we are soul. And then with practice, and then more practice, and then the daily knowledge, right, that we go through every day. And there we get that determined, that there we increase that it goes, I mean, the determination increases, that I am a soul, and then we start experiencing. And then what happens, all our attitude towards the world, our perception towards others, everything changes, right? So that's where the transformation that Baba says, when the determination comes, and then transformation takes place. So body consciousness to soul consciousness. So the attitude changes, our expectation changes, our aim and objective changes, everything changes. That's all part of transformation when this determined thought that I am a soul, that comes in place. So slowly everything starts changing. So I mean, that's what I guess what Baba says about determined thought can bring transformation. So the base is determined thought. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Yes, Sanjay Bhai.
Today, Baba very nicely explained that how the Pandavas went to the higher mountains and they died. To that, what I feel that yes, very nicely, as we also understood that yes, Baba wants us to be soul conscious. And the moment we become soul conscious, as it is said that when your frequency matches with anything, when we hear in the radio, we just change the frequency. Suppose we want to hear BBC London, so we change the frequency and it gets connected automatically. As the frequency matches, it gets connected automatically, and the things happens automatically. So when Gal Mare, and the moment we become soul conscious, we need not to do anything, as Baba always told, that when you become soul conscious, you are connected to that Almighty Baba. And when you are connected to that Almighty Baba, all the thing happens basically. And basically that is called as a very, very determined state. That the thing, you need not do anything, thing happens. You become basically, when you get no obstacles, nothing, things are flowing in a very natural way, and you inculcate all those things naturally. That means change happens naturally. The transformation takes place. We do not to do anything for the transformation. It takes automatically. It becomes a natural process. So Baba wants us to become just to become soul conscious, and as we become soul conscious, connected to Baba, Sankarang, and things happens automatically. Om Shanti.
Pimesh Bhai, I don't want to really put a finger in a hornet of bees. Really, this thing of determination pulled me, because I remember one keyword: determination determines destination. right, we are so lucky. We all have soul consciousness. We are sunk in soul consciousness. And I also would love to sink myself in that and allow the light to pervade over everyone. But I feel we are all just small, small islands of volcanoes. We all have to collectively come. We all have good determination, what I call it as self-determination. But this self-determination I find is not altruistic. It's not like these yogis who were there a few hundred years back, who were determined, who had some self-determination for world benefaction. But our self-determination, I think, is isolated. What is needed, I feel, is collective. For that, I think the present moment is just sink yourself in your soul consciousness. Let the light come and take over. He knows, he has done it, it will pervade. I think I have to, as you rightly said, let me burn the oil of determination in myself and not blow out the light of determination in others.
So Baba talked about that group who that that was there in the start, which was instrumental in uh, forming the yagya. And then now the group of completion. So there are various groups of completion which will allow completion. And I would say kind of work that we are also doing right now, the Purusharth, what we are doing, is also one of the groups that we are coming together, pooling our thoughts, perspectives, reflections, learnings, everything, and contributing to each other and going back into the same world, practicing it for ourselves and in turn to serve others as well. So, yeah, I mean, determination is, of course, the key. Uh, if you see the time of COVID, when during the pandemic, when we were housebound, homebound, we were inbound, and at that time, the Purusharth for many of us had really gone up. Uh, whatever we were doing, our meditations, reflections, everything had gone up because there wasn't much exposure at that point of time with the exterior world. At that time, we got a period, a glimpse of what it looks like to practice with spirituality or divine virtues and values with determination. But again, after that, we have spilled back into the world, and that also with a higher force. And this is going to continue. The velocity of the challenges is going to increase because that's the hurdle, that's the path for the the destruction before for the creation. So each one may have their own uh, count of uh, the processes, I may say, or about their approaches when it comes to determination. It's not something that we can impose on anyone, that I can't impose on you and you can't impose on me, but it comes with a complete sense of ownership of what I want to do. So each one of us, as we talk here, we look at what is it I want to do, and then collectively come as a force to contribute to each other over here and in turn to the world outside. Yes, wonderful thoughts getting shared on the wall. Yeah, Sanjay Bhai writes, soul consciousness ensures eradication of negative thoughts and makes us lawful and loveful, and resulting free from all and becoming real farishta, that is transformation from within, within which results in transformation outside. Very true. Swaparivartan se Vishwa Parivartan. Purity in thoughts will lead to collective thoughts, a unified vision. Yes, for this the light shall pervade collective soul consciousness, creates a volcano of determination. Sure. Yes, who can remain constantly happy? Those who are not attracted anywhere else. All right. So let us sit in silence for a minute and deepen in our relation with determination so that we can imbibe and practice the learnings of today. Let's sit in silence for a minute. Thank you, everyone. Om Shanti.
Vishwa, can you announce about tomorrow's session?
Yes, yes, yes. So thanks, Rakiben, for reminding that. Okay, so tomorrow is the special class by Brother Tim from Australia, and the topic is Join Spiritual Happiness. It is joy and spiritual happiness, which we've made it as Join Spiritual Happiness. So it's going to be a pleasure listening to Brother Tim. Uh, we'll be sharing the, you'll be sharing the, you'll be the details on the group, right, Rakiben?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll share the group details on the group. Please pass it on to as many souls as you can so that we can have maximum people attend and take the benefit of Brother Tim's learnings. Okay, Om Shanti. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m.